So you're thinking about moving to Bellingham, Washington, but you're not sure which neighborhood is right for you. Well, whether you're concerned about great schools and parks, you're concerned about access to outdoor recreation, or perhaps looking for the perfect place to retire, this video is going to break down best neighborhoods by lifestyle, and we're going to get started right now. Before we dive in, I want to provide the caveat that almost all the neighborhoods within Bellingham have their own unique benefits and features, and that truly just about any neighborhood could suit just about any preference in terms of this list that we're going to review today. But these neighborhoods that I'm going to share with you are neighborhoods that come up again and again and again based on people who fall into these particular demographics, who are looking for these particular features and benefits within a neighborhood. So if a neighborhood you're considering is not on the list, it of course does not disqualify it as a prospective fit for you, but hopefully this helps guide you in your search a little bit, especially if you're just getting started, to understand which neighborhoods might be best to start with as you visit the area, explore, etc. All right, category number one, as we dive in, we're talking about neighborhoods that provide you with great quality schools and great local parks. And the two neighborhoods that I've selected for this particular category are the Columbia neighborhood and the Silver Beach neighborhood. Now, both these neighborhoods share the benefit of great community vibe and feel. Both of them also have great elementary schools that are highly regarded immediately within the community, and many people enjoy being able to walk or bike with their kids to and from school each day. So Columbia Elementary School in the Columbia neighborhood, you've got Silver Beach Elementary in the Silver Beach neighborhood. We didn't get very creative with those names, but both great neighborhoods. Again, talking about access to parks. Within the Columbia neighborhood, you have immediate access to Elizabeth Park. Now, this is a large park central to this neighborhood. It's got kids' play structure, tennis/pickleball courts. It's got a small basketball court. There's a gazebo. This is a place where they host concerts in the summer months that are completely free. You can come out, listen to the music. There's local vendors, but great community events taking place at Elizabeth Park on a regular basis. Then you've got Below Del Donovan in immediate proximity to the Silver Beach neighborhood. So the Silver Beach neighborhood located at the top of Alabama Hill and north. You've got great access to Below Del Donovan. This is a huge park that is actually the main boat launch for the north end of Lake Whatcom. You've got boating and water skiing and swimming and paddleboarding and kayaking, any sort of water activity that you can come up with. You've got access to swimming, beach volleyball, a community building that can be accessed for a variety of different events. You've also got kids' play structures in this area, and that park connects really nicely, not so far away, to Whatcom Falls Park as well. Now, talking a little bit about the attributes of these neighborhoods. So the Columbia neighborhood has tree-lined streets, historic character homes. This neighborhood was developed starting back in the early 1900s, late 1800s. So you've got more character homes, and you've got great access and proximity to the Bellingham waterfront as well as the downtown area. Within the Silver Beach neighborhood, you've got a little bit more eclectic style of homes. You have homes going back as long as maybe to the early 1900s, but much more modern as well, things that have been built much more recently. So if you're looking for more variety in style of home or more variety in terms of size of home, Silver Beach might appeal a bit more than Columbia. But again, both phenomenal neighborhoods, both very family-oriented, family-friendly, and again, having great access to schools and parks right there within the neighborhood. Number two on the list, we're going to talk about neighborhoods that appeal to young professionals. Now, the two neighborhoods that I've selected for this category are the downtown and surrounding area, as well as the Fairhaven area. Now, these are similar in many ways and different in some ways in terms of particularly the style of housing that's available in these different areas. So within Fairhaven, you have a much more eclectic means of housing, including single-family residences, condos, townhomes, what have you, versus in the downtown area, it's mainly apartments. You get a little bit on the fringe of downtown area. You can find some single-family homes, but they're certainly fewer and farther between. The reason that I believe that young professionals love these areas are the great walkability and bikeability that you have with immediate access to a variety of things like shops, restaurants, breweries, different co-working spaces. You've got easy access to public transit. You've also got great access to Western Washington University. So particularly if you're an alum at Western and you want to still be able to access things like the rec center, well, that's going to be in good proximity for you as well. As far as parks that are in the area, down in the Fairhaven area, you have Boulevard Park, This connects to the boardwalk that goes out over the bay and connects you up towards the Fairhaven area. So really nice kind of in between transition from the downtown area to the Fairhaven area via Boulevard Park. Another great park that you have access to if you're in the core downtown area is Zwanich Park. You also connect immediately adjacent to Zwanich Park to the Granary building, Granary Ave, with a host of new condos that are going in. Here you have the bicycle pump track, you've got Kolshin Brewing, a host of other container village vendors, and again, that just runs you then immediately into downtown. So a lot of activity, a lot of things to do, great ease of access. These are great areas for, recently graduated students, young professionals who are looking to have more immediate access to nightlife, restaurants, and recreation here in these central areas of Bellingham. Hey, if this is your first time on the channel, we want to encourage you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you can keep up on all the content that we're releasing about Bellingham, about Whatcom County, and all the great things that are going on here in this area. My name is Jeff Engen, and I'm with MJB Real Estate Group here in Bellingham. Every day we get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you who are considering a move to this area, and we absolutely love it. So whether you're thinking about moving tomorrow, 10 months from now, sometime in between, we encourage you to reach out. You can find all of our contact information below. Also want to draw your attention to our completely free, no strings attached relocation guide that you can download via the link on the screen or the link below. It will help you to become better informed about Bellingham and this area as you continue to consider if perhaps it's the right place for you to call home. But for now, let's get back to talking about these neighborhoods by lifestyle. Category 3, we're talking about neighborhoods that are best for retirees. Now there are 3 that I'm going to share with you in this particular segment. So the first is South Hill, the second is Edgemoor, and the third is the Cordata area. Now starting with South Hill, this sits just adjacent to downtown. Perched on the hill, most of these homes have water views. They sit a bit above town, so they tend to be a bit more peaceful, a bit more quiet in these neighborhoods. They've got great sidewalks, great walkability, great bikeability, and give you great access to downtown as well as Fairhaven, but you're a little bit more set back, a little bit more quiet than the areas that we just talked about with young professionals. A little bit less hustle and bustle in these areas. So South Hill is a phenomenal spot, again, sitting up above Boulevard Park that we talked about moments ago and connecting you down to Fairhaven, as well as great access to downtown. When we talk about the Edgemoor neighborhood, this is one of the more affluent neighborhoods within Bellingham. These are older homes, many of which do have water views as well, but this is a very quiet community that sits south of Fairhaven, again, still giving you great access to these areas, and these are some of the most in-demand homes within Bellingham, often carrying price tags starting around the $1 million price point and going up from there. But again, peaceful, walkable, quiet neighborhood with a good community feel. Number 3 on the list being the Cordata neighborhood. Now, the Cordata neighborhood has been growing dramatically over the last few years as Bellingham has kind of run out of additional space. Cordata is what we would call perhaps the last frontier as we expand north towards the Meridian and or Ferndale areas. So within the Cordata area, you have access to all sorts of housing types, whereas in South Hill and in the Edgemoor neighborhoods, we are looking predominantly at single-family homes. Within Cordata, you've got townhomes, you've got 55-plus communities, you do have single-family standalone homes as well, but it's a bit more eclectic in terms of the housing types. It's going to put you in great access to a variety of healthcare providers immediately within the Cordata area, and there's also the benefit of that being one of the most walkable and bikeable portions of the community as well, because there are sidewalks everywhere, and it will connect you to places like Cordata Park. Cordata Park, you've maybe heard me talk about in other videos, has all sorts of benefits. There are pickleball tennis courts, there's kids play structures, there's a water feature for kids in the summer months. There's even some specialized areas for skateboarding and parkour and things of that nature. Now, these might not be particularly attractive to people within the retiree demographic, although maybe they are. But Cordata Park, nonetheless, a great place to be able to visit and spend time, get your exercise, get your steps in there within the Cordata community. Next on our list, we're talking about neighborhoods that are well suited for those that are outdoor enthusiasts. Now, the neighborhoods that I'm going to pick for this are going to be the Geneva neighborhood, the Whatcom Falls neighborhood, which happen to be side by side, as well as the Samish neighborhood, which is not a significant distance away. The reason that I'm picking these particular neighborhoods for outdoor enthusiasts, one of the things that Bellingham is known for, particularly within the mountain biking community, is Galbraith Mountain. This is world-class mountain biking. If you've watched any of my other videos, to talk about things to do in the area, pros and cons of the area, undoubtedly we've talked about Galbraith Mountain a number of times. So world-class mountain biking on Galbraith Mountain, and you can access that immediately from areas like Whatcom Falls and Geneva. The Samish neighborhood, a little bit to the west and a little bit south, is still going to provide you with great access to Galbraith Mountain and surrounding activities. It's also going to put you in great proximity to Lake Padden. So Lake Padden's great for swimming. There's also a host of trails for biking and running. There's horse trails and a dog park and off-leash dog trails. There are baseball fields and kids play structures and all sorts of great stuff going on immediately in the Padden area. And in fact, as you're taking those trails around Padden, there is a way for you to divert from the Padden trails, cross the road, and find yourself on Galbraith Mountain. So if you are into walking, running, trail running, biking, swimming, the list goes on. Those are all things that you can do and have immediate access to from these neighborhoods in Bellingham. If you love spending time outdoors, these are great neighborhoods to consider, especially, again, if mountain biking is on the list of things that you love to do. Last on our list, we're talking a little bit about homes that will appeal to first-time home buyers. Now, caveat again that you could find as a first-time home buyer, third-time home buyer, fifth-time home buyer, a home in just about any neighborhood that will likely fit your budget and meet your needs, although there are certain neighborhoods that tend to be more affordable, hence what we'll be focusing on for first-time home buyers. So the three neighborhoods that I've selected for first-time home buyers to consider, and again, not the only ones to consider, are the Birchwood neighborhood, the Sunnyland neighborhood, and the community of Sudden Valley. So the Birchwood neighborhood tends to be characterized by homes from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. A lot of homes in the 70s there in the Birchwood neighborhood, but a little bit of everything. Larger lots, more of a suburban feel, great community vibe. You know, again, within most of these neighborhoods, you're going to know your neighbors, probably be enjoying summer barbecues together, all that good stuff. Versus the Sunnyland neighborhood, less suburban, more of a quaint, small town vibe that you get within the Sunnyland community. It does give you immediate access to things like Trader Joe's, direct access to downtown, some breweries there in the area. So Sunnyland, a lot of character homes, a good place to check out if that sounds like it's more your vibe. And then last on the list is the community of Sudden Valley. Now, Sudden Valley sits southeast of Bellingham proper. It is not technically within the city limits of Bellingham, but it is still a Bellingham address and feeds into the Bellingham public school system. The Sudden Valley area, depending on where you start and where you finish, tends to be anywhere from 15 to 22 some odd minutes from Sudden Valley to Bellingham proper. So it is a little bit off the beaten path. It's a heavily wooded, heavily treed community that's kind of carved into the hillside coming up off of Lake Whatcom. So you have the portions of the community on the lake itself. These sometimes can be more expensive homes with views versus the homes that are across the way as you head closer to town and into the hillside tend to be a little bit more affordable than what you'll find in a lot of the Bellingham core neighborhoods. So if you're a first-time home buyer, again, we can probably find you a home in just about any neighborhood, exceptions being maybe something like the Edgemore area that we talked about during the retirement segment. South Hill and Fairhaven also tend to be more expensive. But again, we can find you homes throughout Bellingham. I don't want you to operate with the understanding that you can only and should only look in these particular neighborhoods as a first-time buyer. Hey, as always, want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that it has been helpful and informative. I want to encourage you one last time to like and subscribe, and I want to remind you that you can find my contact information below with questions about Bellingham, about neighborhoods, about the real estate market, anything that I can do to help. I encourage you to reach out. I also want to remind you to download that free relocation guide that we talked about earlier in the video as you continue to explore Bellingham and the surrounding area and determine if it might be the right spot for you. But again, one last time, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. I look forward to seeing you again soon.